Welcome to video 4 of the ZLC Fast Start program. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. Now this is where the rubber meets the road. You've got your website in place, you've developed your who list. Now we got to put that stake in the sand where we're going to have our first public event. And how are we going to do this? Well, in the first 30 days, we're going to establish a date. And what we do is we call this the Power of Who two-step near marketing system to fill paid events. Man, that's a tongue twister. I tried to come up with a longer name, but I just couldn't. So what does all this mean? Well, when we think of the power of who, we know what that means. That means building winning relationships. It's a two-step process. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, are the 2 steps. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about near marketing, NEER, which stands for naturally existing economic relationships. So the 2-step near marketing system to fill paid events, the reason we're doing this is we want you to host a public, successful event where people pay you money to come. Now they might pay you $100, $200, $300, a little bit more, a little bit less. That's up to you and your market and what you're trying to accomplish. But the idea is that once we leave our ZLC class, in the first 30 days, we want to look into the future and set that date. So let's go through the steps here. The first step is we need to identify who our prospects are to come. We've already talked about that. The 2-step system is this. And this is funny because we actually start with step number 2 in this 2-step process. So here it goes. The second step is the first one that you actually do. And that is 120 days after, give or take a little bit, you leave ZLC, the class, the certification program. You're going to want to hold your first public paid event. This is a workshop where people come in at $100, give or take some money, to hear you present one of the 3 programs. So when your first 30 days, when you've left the headquarters after you've been through your certification, you're going to want to go to your community and you're going to want to find a suitable venue, a hotel, a venue that has events like this, that's central to the businesses, that's central to the people who are likely to come to this event and pay, so it's convenient for them. And you're going to want to book a hotel room or a venue. The ideal size is one that holds 30 to 60 people. Why do I say that? Well, we want the first event that you do to be a sellout. It's so much better to have a sellout and to have low overhead than it is to have a big room with a lot of empty chairs. I'm just talking facts here. So we want to have a sellout. That way when you sell it out, when you talk to people, you can say, hey, every event I do is a sellout. So you're looking for a nice venue and your target audience is area, people where they're likely to go, where they're used to going. You're going to want to get a room that holds 30 to 60 people. 30 to 60 people set in round tables of 6 to 8 people, classroom style. It's really up to you how you want to set that room up. And then the ideal cost is somewhere in the neighborhood of $500. Why am I saying this? Well, you don't want to get into food and beverage contracts where you have to buy a certain amount of food or sleeping rooms or all that. We're not going that sophisticated. We're not trying to make it that difficult. What you want is a professional environment, a room that has clout, that makes you look good as a professional, that's a reasonable size, a room that will allow you to fill it up, and a room that costs you a money that you can easily recuperate by selling seats to this. So let's just say you get a room for $500 for 50 people and you're able to sell 40 seats at $100 each. Now you can see what I'm talking about. You're getting your investment back. Now the step 1 of this is how you fill that room. So the first 30 days you go out and you get this date 120 days down the road. So you come in March and then April, May, June, July, August. So somewhere in that time frame, it might be needed a little bit later in August because of the way business works in your community. You have this room in place. Now comes the work part. What you want to do is identify 10 people in your Who network who you can go and give a free class to, a free session on, not a class, I'm sorry, don't say that, a free presentation to that's about 25 minutes in length. And the goal of this presentation is to get people excited about your workshop. You're going to give them value. So of the 25 minutes, 22 minutes of it is value. It's you delivering the Ziegler performance formula, which we're going to cover again in another video, which you already saw at the certification class. In other words, you're going to tell them what performance is about, not how to accomplishment, but what it's about. And everybody's minds are going to go, I want some of that. And so when they hear that presentation that you give, they're going to want to know more. And that's where at the end you say, good news, I'm going to be doing this class on goal setting on August 15th, and I have an opportunity for you. So how does that work? So you want to set 2 to 4 free presentations a month through associations, the Chamber of Commerce, maybe businesses in your community. You have speakers come in, they already have an established meeting. These are things that you need to work on and develop and network to get. And we're going to go into some of the ideas in the near marketing section of who you can give this to. So if you do 2 to 4 presentations a month and it's scheduled about 120 days out, that means that you'll do about 10 presentations. 10 presentations, you give away 1 seat at each presentation, and then you sell between 2 and 4 seats at each presentation, and voila, you've got 30 to 60 people in that room. That is the process. It's going to be a huge benefit of the host to invite you in to do the free presentation. Why is that? Well, you are a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer. You have information of value. And when you come into their group, your focus, your primary responsibility, your goal and objective is to give everybody in that room value. And when you do that, when you share the Ziegler performance formula with them, a simple 20-minute speech on how you can improve your performance personally and professionally, everybody in that room will benefit from that, because that's the reality of life. Every individual in every business, if they're serious about earning more, about doing better, about growing, about increasing their impact, they have to increase their performance. And the Ziegler performance formula is the simplest, most powerful tool I've ever seen to communicate the essentials of performance, which are attitude, effort, and skill. So when you deliver that, the host is going to win. Now, you're coming in on behalf of the host, and so the host is going to want to treat you with favor because you're a Ziegler certified trainer. You come with the credibility and a reputation, and they're going to be fine with you giving away to his crowd one of these seats to one of these events. And we'll go into more detail on that as I actually demonstrate that in a later video. But as you can see, until you set the date of an event that you need to fill, it's going to be hard to start taking the action both physically out there in the marketplace and mentally to start filling that. When you have that date set, then you're like, oh my goodness, I need to get busy. Getting busy means contacting your who list and networking to get free presentations. We're going to go deeper into this, but I wanted to give you this first step, this brief overview of what it's about.